There's something happening right underneath your plants that almost nobody talks about. A living network, invisible to the naked eye, that's been quietly working for millions of years. It connects roots together, trades nutrients like a stock market, and can literally make your plants grow faster and stronger without you lifting a finger. And the sad thing is, most people destroy it without even realising. When we buy a new plant and go off and repot it, we often wipe out this entire underground system, which means the plant has to go it alone, without the natural support system it depends on. But when this network is present, the difference is ridiculous. You'll see roots fill a pot faster, in some cases too fast to keep up with, new growth appear out of nowhere, and a resilience that no fertiliser can replicate. It's like your plant is suddenly plugged into fibre broadband after living on dial-up its whole life. This isn't a new TikTok trend or some Instagram gimmick, by the way. It's actually nature's original growth hack. Farmers and professional growers have been using it for years to get results that seem almost impossible otherwise. And you can easily use it indoors too. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what it is, how it works, and the simple way I add it to every pot so my plants explode with growth. So what exactly is this invisible network that I'm bleating on about that makes such a difference? Well, it's called mycorrhizal fungi. And I promise it's nowhere near as scary as it sounds. In fact, it's one of the most beneficial relationships in the entire natural world. Think of it like your plant's underground best friend. It's not a fertiliser and it's not something cooked up in a lab. It's a type of living fungus that attaches itself to your plant's roots and then spreads out through the soil, forming a vast web of fine, thread-like structures called hyphae. Now that might sound a bit The Last of Us, but these fungi have been working alongside plants for hundreds of millions of years. In nature, almost every plant species, from towering oak trees to tiny weeds in the garden, relies on them to survive. Here's a fun fact for you. The name mycorrhiza literally means fungus root, because that's what it becomes. A fusion between the plant's roots and the fungus itself. It's a partnership where both sides get something out of it. The fungus gets a bit of sugar from the plant because it can't photosynthesize, and in return, it dramatically increases the plant's reach underground, by giving it an extra set of supercharged roots. The amazing part is that this happens naturally outdoors all the time, but indoors, in pots filled with sterilised mixes, it's usually missing, which means your plant is living half the life he could, bless him. That's why I now add mycorrhizal fungi every single time I repot a plant, and why you should start too. When you add mycorrhizal fungi to your potted mix, the spores quickly wake up and attach themselves to your plant's roots. And from there they grow outwards, sending out those hyphae that I mentioned earlier. But you won't see them though. They're so fine that you need a microscope to see them. But this is where the magic happens. Those threads weave through every part of the soil, reaching places your plant's roots could never get to on their own. Imagine your plant's root system suddenly gaining an extra set of arms, stretching into tiny crevices between soil particles, drawing out water and nutrients that would otherwise stay locked away. The fungus collects nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen and then delivers them directly to the roots in exchange for carbohydrates. It's a perfect trade, one that makes both sides stronger. Unbelievably, and this is going to sound a bit The Last of Us, so bear with me, these networks can even connect multiple plants together. Funnily enough, scientists call this the Wood Wide Web. It means one plant can literally share nutrients or even warning signals with another through this fungal network. Now in our homes it's a little less dramatic because our plants live in separate pots, but even within a single container the effect is real. The fungus turns what would normally be dead space in the soil into an active living system that keeps everything running more efficiently. And once that connection is made, it lasts. Even if you repot, a bit of that fungal network goes with the roots and continues to grow, so it's not a one-off boost. I'm going to show you exactly how to apply it in a bit, as well as how you shouldn't. But first, why should you even bother with this indoors? What are the benefits? Well, the most obvious one is explosive growth. Because the roots suddenly have access to more nutrients and moisture, new leaves and shoots appear faster, and the plant establishes itself more quickly after repotting. You really see the difference in young or struggling plants. They seem to spring back to life with a kind of energy you don't normally see. Plants with mycorrhiza also develop thicker, stronger root systems, which will help no end if you're a forgetful waterer like me. Plants with this network are better at withstanding drought because those fungal threads hold onto water and deliver it where the plant needs it most. And then there's the boost in nutrient uptake. Fertiliser goes further because less of it gets washed out. The fungus captures and recycles nutrients that would normally be lost. That means you can, in theory, feed less often, yet your plants stay greener and healthier. There's even evidence that mycorrhizal plants are more resilient to disease. The fungi create a sort of biological shield around the roots, outcompeting harmful microbes and reducing the risk of root rot or other infections. But this doesn't mean your plant will survive being watered every day with gay abandon though. The beauty of this is that the benefits kind of compound over time. Once that fungal network is established, it keeps growing. It literally becomes part of the plant's ecosystem. It's like your plant's on steroids. Before we move on to how to apply it properly, if you ever struggle with plant problems like yellow leaves, brown tips or mysterious wilting, then I've actually made something that will really help. It's my free Plant Problems Troubleshooting Handbook, and it walks you through all the most common issues and what to do about them. I'll leave a link down below so that you can download it for free after watching this video. So now that we know what mycorrhizal fungi are and why they matter, let's talk about how to actually use them, because this is where most people go wrong. The biggest mistake I see is people mixing it straight into their potting soil and hoping for the best. It seems logical, doesn't it? Just blend it in and the fungi will find the roots eventually. But that's not how it works. They can't find what they can't reach. Mycorrhizal fungi need direct contact with living roots to form that partnership. If you just sprinkle it into a soil mix before planting, most of the spores end up too far away to ever make that connection. They'll lie there living dormant, doing absolutely nothing. So the right way to apply it is directly onto the roots during repotting. Here's exactly how I do it. When I take a plant out of its old pot, I gently loosen the root ball just a little. Not tearing the roots like a maniac, just freeing up the outer one so that the fungi have more surface area to attach to. Then I sprinkle the mycorrhizal granules directly over those roots, making sure there's good coverage all the way around. Don't overdo it though, a light, even dusting is good enough. Once that's done, I place the plant into its new pot and backfill with fresh soil. The key is getting the fungus touching those roots, that's where the magic starts. There is another method that's becoming more popular, which is watering it in. You mix it with water and pour it into channels that you poked into the soil. It is easier, especially if you're not repotting, but there's a catch. Watered in spores might not always reach the roots effectively, especially if the soil's dense or compacted. They can get trapped in the upper layer, never making proper contact. But that said, if you're treating a plant you don't want to disturb or one that's freshly rooted, it's still better than nothing. Personally though, I always prefer the root dusting method when I can. It gives you that guaranteed connection straight away. Think of it like introducing two friends face to face rather than hoping they bump into each other at a party. Once those spores latch on, the relationship begins and that's when you start seeing the transformation. Alright, let's talk about how to look after that partnership once it's formed, because the last thing you want is to go to all that effort only to undo it without realising. So first off, you only need to apply mycorrhizal fungi once. It's not like a fertiliser, there's no need to keep reapplying it. Once the fungi have colonised the roots, they stay there. They grow as the roots grow, and even if the plant is repotted, a bit of that network travels along with it. The only time that you need to reapply is if you completely washed all the soil off the roots or treated the plant with something that kills fungi, which brings us to the next point. Avoid chemical fertilisers and fungicides. Strong synthetic feeds, especially those high in salts, can actually harm the delicate fungal network. They create an environment that's too harsh for the fungi to survive, undoing all that hard work that you've done. Stick with mild organic fertilisers instead. They won't disrupt the fungi and in fact can work quite well alongside them. So how long before you see results? Well, it normally takes a couple of months at least to start noticing a difference. The fungi need time to establish, spread through the soil and form those connections, so patience is key. Once that happens, you'll see stronger growth, faster recovery after repotting, and healthier leaves overall. Once the fungi are in, try not to disturb the root zone unnecessarily. Every time you break up that soil or rinse the roots, you're breaking up that network. It will regrow, but it does take some time. So if you do need to repot, keep as much of the root ball intact as possible. And remember that these fungi thrive in living soil. Keep the soil moist but not waterlogged. Give the plant good airflow and avoid letting it completely dry out for long periods. Extreme dryness can kill off parts of the network undoing all your hard work. And once you start using mycorrhizal fungi, it really changes the way you think about what's going on inside your pots. So if you've ever wondered why some plants absolutely thrive in your mix while others sulk or rot, then that's not bad luck, that's your soil mix. Different plants need completely different environments around their roots, and once you understand how those mixes work, you'll unlock another level of growth. So if you want to get the most out of your plants and build the perfect soil mix for each one, I made a full video on exactly that, and you can watch it right here.